Hello and welcome. I'm Shadow of Shadow Gaming, bringing you Programming with Shadow, episode number 39. Here in last lesson, we began splitting out the convention registration for our registration simulation into a registration area. We're doing that to make it more object-oriented, to encapsulate the information there for it, and we're going to continue there today. My thought from last time was that right now we do a lot of things with the events. Like we have a depart and a arrival. We have a depart and arrival. My thought is that we should be able to just return. Here we're returning two different types. Instead, I think return the event. So let's see. So where we use this at is here. Handle departure. So right now we're needing two registrants, a current one and then the next one. I think we can get around that. Let's see where we can go, and if we can't, we'll have to adjust. So let's see. Handle an event. To schedule service for a registrant. Let's check what that method does. So F12. All right, so it's the one that's actually creating the departure. There, I lost it when I resized. It's creating the departure event and then adding it to the priority queue. Wait a minute. Twice. So yeah, so we get the departure time and we make an departure event. The other time, get an arrival time and make an arrival event. So yeah, so I think that might make sense. So my comment here to do, consider making this dumber by only adding an event, and the event can get an event for the next departure from the departure menu. That would make this this one here return an event, a departure event, and it would give it to this schedule, and the schedule would add it to the queue. Let's see, what does the queue take? It takes a event. Yeah, I think that might could work actually. Which one's it scheduling? Next one? Next. And okay, and it's setting it the time that a previous one. Interesting. Yeah, let's look at the event. It has an event. Okay, so it just has a time method. All right, so register. Ooh, trying to piece together that logic there. So service time. Remove that extra semicolon. Okay, let's see. Let's do some more. So let's see. So we'll do it like this first. Public event departure int registrant ID. This is saying it already defines a parameter, one of the parameters. So we've mentioned in the past, but it's been a while. Signature for a method requires the name and the parameter. Output type doesn't actually matter. We'll just say departure with event for now. Let's see. So we'll just return new event for the moment. We'll say departure. Date time now, and the registrant ID. That's going to be wrong though, because it's going to need to be the next. That means let's do it nullable. Okay. Now we're cooking. So let's see. So first thing we want to do is we want to find which window they are at. So we'll do exactly this. Perfect. So we'll do that. Then we'll make them the part. Then our next registrant equals peak window index. Next registrant in line. All right. So now we've got the next one. So let's see. So now all we need to do is create a departure event with the departing registrant dot departure time, and the ID is next registrant in line dot ID. That's nullable, so we need to handle that. So if next registrant in line is null, return null. Okay. I think that actually does what I want it to do. Here, let's do this on a separate line just so it's easier to see. Var event. We'll say event. Next event equals all this. Next event. Okay. So from that, so now we get the registrant, we let them depart, we handle their departure, then we get the next one. If the next one is not, we return null, else we return the event. So I think that works. So let's go try to use that. Let's see what happens. So here we do this, this sort of. So we'll do our next event equals registration windows dot departure registrant ID. Departure with event. The other way to break that up a little more would be to depart and return the window that just finished, and then have another method to handle the next one. Get next, you next person maybe. Do I like that? I don't know if I like that. Let's go with this for the moment. We might think about that. Now we have a next event. So next event. So if next event is null, is not null, then we'll do schedule service for registrant. This time we're only going to pass in the new event. comment all this out. Okay, Control C. Let's come down here to schedule. So let's do another schedule. So we'll say private void schedule service for registrant event next departure. Let's do next event. Let's do it like that because I think this can be a little more. Notice this one, even though the names are the same, this one's all right because the parameters are different. So let's see. So we don't need to do any of this. So we can start with priority queue.enqueue next event.time. There we go. Return. Get service directory. We add. Oh. Yeah, we need to do that. So we'll copy time span. It gets promoted to a private function. Private time span. Okay, so now we get the duration. Oh, wait a minute. We need to set that information. Wait a minute. We have all that information over here. But yeah, wait a minute. Copy this. Move this over here. Minimum service time. Where else do we use that add in here? Find usages. References, yes. That's large. Get service duration, so it's that method. Okay, it's only used there. Perfect. So all of a sudden that becomes a member of this. I want that to pop. So that becomes a member of this class. So that actually makes sense. So the registration area is the one that knows about the minimum service time. That makes sense. What else do we need? Expected registration duration. That one's a little trickier. That's how long that we expect it to take as a default. Where all is it used? 7 spots. One of them's a test. Set there. Using the constructor. Validation. So basically we need to pass it in. So let's do that. Let's do a we'll do a same thing. Let's do it as a private read-only double expected registration duration. Set that here, so we'll have to pass it in. There we go. There we go. So now we'll pass that in. So now this should fail somewhat. It's here. So we pass the number of windows, pass in expected registration. Expected registration duration. All right. So there, it's now got the information it needs. So just that. Shortest, longest. That's a pain. Where do we use shortest and longest? Let's check. Display final results. Yeah. Get servers. Okay, so only them. Okay, that's easy then. So move it. It makes sense for it to be the registration area. It's keeping its own stats. We'll do prop time span, shortest duration. Defaults to new 100 0 0. So we're saying the longest is 100 hours as a default. All right, so now shortest test duration. Come down here, so anywhere we do this, we'll say shortest duration. All right, there's it. So I don't want it set from the outside, so we'll say it's private set. Make the setters private, but we'll keep the getter public because we're going to do this down here. All right, we're going to say registration windows dot shortest duration. All right, fix this one. This one, let's just comment it out. Our heading is that we're not going to be using these. We're going to be using. My suspicion is that we can handle it all in turn. That's what I'm expecting. Let's just comment this whole method out. We're in refactoring. Control K, Control C. All right, so there's some of them. Handle arrivals. Okay, we're going to have to keep track of it. Oh, that's a little more pain. Yeah, we may have to hold off on this. Yeah, let's undo. Undo that, undo that. Do that. All right, so instead we need to not get rid of shortest just yet. So yeah, let's undo it as well. And I want that one to stay the same, but I guess I'll need to fix that separately. So yeah, let's go back down to that one. We'll say this one is gets registration window dot shortest duration. All right, let's do that for the longest as well. Public time span longest duration. Get private set equals new 0 0 0. I think that was been what I set it to here. I did it to 1. All right, there's longest. Find it. I think it'll be used in very similar situations. Longest longest, okay. We'll just say here this gets registration window dot longest duration. The other usage I think is here in the get service. Yep. Okay. All right, so we're good there. We'll say longest duration, total time. Or are we using total time? Set it up to 0. We pass it to average at the end. Okay, all three uses. Average just takes an average of the time. Yeah, number of registrants. We should pull that up too. So let the registration area keep track of how long it was in operation as well. Public time span total duration. There's a span dot 0. Started there. Now here, every time this gets hit, we just set the total time, total duration. Now, where is that U? Here. What about that one? No, not that one. What's the other one? That one. There we go. Total duration. Okay, so there's it. Where was I going with that? Was it here? I was here. Okay. I was setting the value here, so I'm going to reset the registrants durations. The registrant here is the next one. Okay, so we're setting their start time basically. So say here, span duration equals get service duration. Next registrant in line dot service duration equals duration. Next registrant in line dot service time equals service. Which one are we passing in? Where got that? Departing time. Departing registrant. Dot departure time. Dot time. That makes sense. So we'll set their time to the previous one's time. What else do we do? We set the departing time. Departure time dot time equals add duration. There we go. All right, so now we set their values. So now we cover this part. We just enqueue it into the queue. We're done. We can get rid of that line. Now, this method should do the exact same thing, I think. But yeah, so let's see where we use, look at the other usage. This one. So it's in add. It needs to do the same thing, unfortunately. Tell you what, let's do this. Let's do private. We want to return an event. This is going to look very similar, actually. Yeah, this is going to look very similar. So arrival here, so we make it just return an event. Does that get us? Returns an int. So it returns the shortest position. That may not be the clearest. Let's see if we can adjust that as well. Let's see if we can get it to return a departure event too. Public event arrival with event registrant. I think we still need the same information. So we need to know the shortest, know the window, add them to the window. All right, so we add them to the window. Return their number. What do we use their number? Is first in line. Oh, so we only register if it's first in line. Um, yeah, that's. Wait a minute. Okay, that makes. Okay. That makes it a little harder, but I think we can just move that inside as well. Yeah, well, let's try this. Let's say it's nullable. All right, so if we need the var position equals window dot count minus one. So if position doesn't equal 0, then we return null. Else we return schedule service for registrant. Not in here. Let's see. Pull it out. So it needs to do all this stuff. So it needs everything from this point on, right? We will need a registrant. Registrant. Need to do this. We might just need that. We need the previous registrant, don't we? Maybe we need to break that dependency actually. Let's see. Next registrant. This one. We need it to both. Here we can shrink this to registrant service time. Service time. Date time. What is service time already at date time? Next one in line. This one's registrant ID. All we need to adjust is their service time. We need to set the service time of the registrant that registrant, next registrant line, service time equals departing registrant dot o dot departure time. That'll work, but that doesn't feel good. That gets rid of the need to handle this though. Then we just set the event. So let's see if we can make that work up here. So for arrival time, it was a little different. We give a registrant. Give the registrant, we give their position. If they're in the position, go ahead and schedule, and we pass in them registrant. What do we set their service to? Their arrival time, right? Okay, so we set it to their arrival time. Registrant dot service time equals registrant dot arrival time dot time. Arrival with event, and then return this. So there's just an arrival event. Let's see, let's adjust. So now we can skip all this. All right, so now we do registration window dot arrival with event. Pass in that registrant. We get a for event, or this is unknowable, so event. Departure event. And then if departure event is not, oh, then we schedule. There we go. I believe that puts all the pieces back together. Makes it so this wherever the schedule method is unused. Good. So let's run it and let's see what happens. Let's see if it still looks like it's working. So if it does, I think we're good. All right. Hold off and let's debug. What has changed? Arrival, departure. Departure with event is still happening. I'm gonna take a look. I'm gonna have to look into the debugging again. Let's see. Well, let's start here. 9. Let's debug here just a minute. So we got a registrant. Let's see if we schedule a departure event. We do. Good. Did we get it actually scheduled? Priority queue. There's us a departure. Was the one there, right? Let's make that easier to read. Go to event. Just say ID here. Stop. Restart. Yeah, that'll do. So what I did there, changing the toString, should have changed if I go to the priority queue again. Now if we look at the departure event, now it's a little shorter so you can actually see what ID you're looking at. And yeah, I think that's right. That's the one we just did. 509. Yeah. All right, so it gets added properly. Turn. Display. Next. Now we're doing another arrival. Now the top two are departure events. That seems right. So there's them to arrive before anybody else, and then they were leaving. Display, good. All right, now we get the top one, which is a departure. Add the departures. We get their ID. Their ID was 509, yeah, 509. Now let's step into this one. So we get their window. No index. Does that match? Saying they're in line 0. That seems right since they were the first one. Yep, 509. Yeah, that's correct. Now we remove them from this. The queue's empty. Good. So then we grab the next one in line, and there's nobody in line, so it goes null, which is correct. Nope, nobody else. Return. Good. Grab the next one. It is another departure, so it's the other one that's leaving. So now there should be no guests. So we're creation windows. Empty, empty, and empty. Good. I see a way we can improve this a little bit too. Debugging experience, but let's keep going. So 10. Now it's going to get a arrival event. Arrival, good. We handle an arrival. Schedule. You're departing. Okay, so we're departing too quickly. Tell you what that happened. Where did we do that? Let's see. Yeah, go minimum service. Let's check that. See what's happening here. So we'll continue at that next breakpoint. Comes 90. Okay, wait a minute. That's actually correct. $200. All right. Predicted duration's 5. Minimum service time is 90. Yeah, that actually. Okay, so that may have worked. So they're the shortest. New departure time. Service time. Duration. That's interesting. Okay, so that looks like it's working. Then we schedule it. Oh, we're in the wrong spot. This priority key. Haven't added it yet. There, we added it, but not the first time. Okay. Maybe they're just not coming in fast enough at the moment. Now let's skip through and let's see. Departure went away. Through that breakpoint. watch the priority queue. Maybe the arrivals aren't handled properly. Let's see. Where do we handle all the arrivals? Just here, right? Let's find all references to this. See if there was a second one of these. There's 1, 2, 3, and that one's not used. Just those. We are still adding it here. So we're not accidentally using this method wherever it went. Being used, but it is. Let's do that. That. Yeah, I've clearly broke that incoming handling. Where's arrival? Let's see what we've done. The arrivals. Or we would grab the shortest line, get their position, then we would return it, and then we said if it wasn't first in line, so if position was 0, now let's just copy this so it, that shouldn't be it though. If position equals 0, schedule them. And that makes sense because in their position. Remember wrong? Registrant arrival. Registrant that one. Now let's go check what this one did again. Passing in that time and the registrant. We get the duration, get the service duration, service time. The parting we add the duration to the service start time. Create the new event. Make sure that's what we're doing, but I think that is. Yeah, get the duration. Get the duration. Departure time, we take the service time, which we are setting, right? Get the service time. Then we add the duration. And return the next event as a departure event. departure time dot time. Well, that's very likely it. Let's see if that doesn't fix it. We're saying we're setting them to however long it takes rather than when their actual time to finish is. Yep. Well, that was an easy one. Let's see if this one finishes. So there's just some more debugging. Always a good thing. So I noticed that sometime I've accidentally reset my recording, so I'll have to go piece that together. And it finished. Those numbers seem reasonable, I think. Let me see how long this recording's been going. I have reset it now. Set it a couple times. Yeah, well, I think we're out of time actually. Yeah, we're probably out of time, so got that fixed up. So let's do a little cleanup and we'll call it. So now we've done some cleanup though. So now we have a arrival and then a departure. We can move this one. We can rename this one. F2 is the button there to do that. Move this down so it's out of the way. One of these. I'm going to remove this one. Now we've got an arrival event, a departure event. Rename that F2 arrival. Now this class got longer, while the main class got shorter. I think we covered this now. Now it's got the information it's concerned with. We can remove this. Remove this. I need to look at that one. Let's see. Count of arrivals. Again, that feels like one that should be part of the. Anytime we set it, that should be over here. So let's move that. Let's see if that's used anywhere else. One. Display it here. Too hard to deal with. Set it to 0. There. All right, yeah, we can do that. So let's do here with our other ones here. Public int count of arrivals. Get private set equals 0. So anytime we get an arrival, we'll do count of arrivals plus plus. Count of departures is probably the same thing. Do that too. Departures get private set equals 0. Anytime we do a departure, there we go. Now we can cut this one, cut this one, cut this, There we go. Yeah, I think that's all. Let's see what fails. These, we no longer need these. Probably can move the events. Count of arrivals, no longer needed. It's handled by this method here. This one here. So now we'll handle arrivals, so we create a registrant. Get their departure event. Schedule that departure. I think that's good. So same thing here. Clean this up. That's the exact same thing. Here we need to say average service duration for registration window dot count of arrivals should be the same as departure. Good. Colon. I actually don't know what I pressed there, but we'll go with it. Registration window dot arrival times. Registration window dot departure counts. There's a little more cleaned up. Minimum service time is no longer used here, so we'll cut that. Total time is no longer used here, we'll cut that. Events process, let's see where those are used. Every event we do a plus plus. That one feels like it actually needs. Cut both of these lines. Events processed. Yeah, that one feels right for the moment. That's no longer official. Okay, I think we're heading in the right direction. All right, so yeah, let's rename this real quick. Registration area. I'm going to move that to do. Let's find any to dos. Let's see what. So internal. Find the longest. That feels like something that should be encapsulated as well. Yeah, that's here. Remember? Yeah. All right, so we're just playing it. The longest method. Interesting. To do, move this to the registration area. Yeah, I think that one needs moved. This one probably needs moved. Yeah, that one definitely needs. All right, so we'll do that to do as well. So let's see. What other one? Find open time. That one probably needs to stay there. Defaults are used here. These are used a little to keep things. All right. So there. So next time we'll plan on moving the last remaining ones over. So we'll go ahead and break with that then. So we'll do some more cleanup next time and maybe start testing some of this again so we can get the test together. That'll do it for the day. All right. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.